So that is essentially the ending of Escape the Night Explained. Good day everyone, and welcome to today's video. This is definitely a long awaited one. I feel like I have so many questions that I need to answer for you guys, especially the ending of Escape the Night. So without further ado, let's just jump right in and finally answer your burning question. Oh, Hunter decided to change her position. She wants to sit right next to me. She said, I want to see what these questions are first. Oh, we have jealousy. Okay, I don't think they're gonna stand the bed. No, you guys. I thought it would be cute to have them in here, but now it's just turning into them just wanting to be pet. Okay, so the first question is, why was season 5 so short? Now, this is a question that I've seen all over the place, and I think it's just because a lot of people just weren't tuned in to what was happening. So season 5, if that's what we're gonna call it, was the Kickstarter Indiegogo campaign where we raised $130,000 to make one episode. We originally were shooting for $1 million to make a movie, but we didn't get enough funding. So we're like, well, let's use the money to make one episode. 20 minutes max is probably what we can afford. And so when it came down to actually filming this project, I was able to get just a longer amount of footage. Basically, we just captured a ton of extra footage that we were like, wait, we can expand this to be longer. So we could either make it a 50-minute movie, or we split it up into 3 parts and it kind of just became a season 5. So that's why it was so short. It was never intended to be a full season. If it was, we would have to have a lot more money and a lot more planning to go into it. So hopefully that explains why season 5 was so short. These children are so needy. Oh, and now you need to come up right here. Okay, all right. Well, we'll just keep doing this Q&A right here. Okay, if Escape the Night continues, will we ever see people from season 1 through 4 again? So this kind of goes into me answering the ending, which we'll get to, but the short answer is yes, but they wouldn't be from the same universe. Was the mini locker scene written, or did it just happen like that? It just happened like that. This whole season 5, we'll call it, throughout this video, just for clarifying purposes, was shot the same as like the normal seasons. Like, it was all unscripted. Nobody knew what they were getting themselves into. It was all just improv. We were just playing basically live action role playing. Have you ever been terrified on set by one of the monsters? Absolutely. I would have to say the biggest one was probably season 2 with the Devourer chasing us around the mansion. That was terrifying because he was so agile and like scary looking. Like, that was so spooky, wasn't it? Why did Ro have to die a 3rd time? Now listen, going into this project, I knew that everyone was going to die, so there really was no survivors, spoiler alert. Although there is another question about Nikita, which we'll get to, but why did Ro have to die for a 3rd time? Well, I just wanted her to have one of the coolest deaths, which we'll get more into what her original death was supposed to be for this project. There was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, you guys, that it is a miracle that this project even happened. Oh, my throat, it's already getting dry. Next question is from Ashley. She says, what are you drinking? Girl, how do you know I was drinking this? Oh, what, this? Well, this is my new obsession of drinks. It's called Ultima, and thank you Ultima for sponsoring this video. It's a 0 calorie, 0 sugar, 0 carbs electrolyte drink mix. There is a ton of vitamin C, zinc, and magnesium in here, so it's really good for your wellness. And honestly, I just find myself struggling to get enough water throughout the day, and this is so delicious. It's not too salty. It's so good. It makes me excited about drinking water. I'm like, ooh, which packet flavor am I gonna choose today? There's so many to choose from. This one is the strawberry margarita mix, and it is so delicious. Anyways, if you guys want to try it out yourself, you can get it in stores at Target, or you can scan this QR code, click the link down below. Highly recommend you go check it out. And yeah, let's get back to these questions, shall we? We shall. Ooh, was season 4 always planned as an all-star season, or was it decided later by YouTube? It was always from the beginning. I remember going into my pitch meeting for season 2, I was like, okay, season 2 is going to take place here. Season 3 is gonna be this. And then season 4 will come back for all-stars. But when we lost our location for season 4, It was supposed to be these 2 mansions across from like this pond. The family had like a dispute with each other. One brother owned this house, the other brother owned this house, and then they were like fighting, so we lost the location. And then I came up with an entire new concept for season 4, which wasn't even All-Stars. I was like, okay, well, if we can't do the museum idea, then let's do just a regular season. And so I had this idea of a neighborhood that was kind of like stuck in a dollhouse type of thing. So there was like a dollhouse maker that like we all got shrunk down, and it was going to take place in the Wisteria Lane, which was going to be Pandora Lane. And there was going to be like, one of the episodes was going to be like Barbies versus the G.I. Joes. It's going to just be like this whole war happening between them. Anyways, we ended up getting a really cool location, and YouTube was like, no, we're doing an All-Stars. Like, sorry you came up with this whole other plan, but it's not happening. Were there times a co-star broke something or saw something they shouldn't have on set? Well, I think I definitely did that in season 2. There was an episode where we were out in like this garden, and I was just breaking these really expensive pots, thinking that production must have put these here because we could not find keys for the life of us. We were like digging in the soil for so long, and the keys were so tiny. So I literally, like, out of frustration, just picked up the pots and like smashed them. And production never stopped me to be like, Joey, because normally if like you're not allowed to do something, production will be like, oh, don't do that, don't do that. And they didn't. So I thank you, YouTube, for covering that cost. Do I know all the answers to the clues? No, I don't know any of the clues because I want to actually play the game and feel like I was experiencing it as well. All I knew was the story that I came up with for each season with Adam. We would just collaborate on what the monsters would be, what the storyline is, and I just wanted to play the game, so I didn't know anything about the clues. Who was the most robbed? I honestly have to say Sophia. I think her death was probably the saddest just because she didn't get a chance to fight for her own life. Like, it was based off who she voted for that made her die, but it was a gag. I will say that. But I think she was probably the most robbed out of anybody. Same with Jessie. Like, her and Jessie kind of had a similar death, and I don't think I'll ever do that again moving forward, which brings us to the next question. What is the next decade you would like to do? I would love to do a 90s liminal space / Chuck E. Cheese-esque vibe, like Playhouse. Think Five Nights at Freddy's type of vibe meets liminal space. I think that would be so cool, like Backrooms type of vibe. And then next question is, if there is a season 5, will it start a new storyline or continue the Pandora's box? So it will essentially be a completely new storyline. The 4 seasons are capped off by that 5th season. So that storyline's done. Moving forward, everything will be fresh. There will be no association with any of the characters or monsters or anything from that world is completely just done. Like, that storyline's over. Like, if we start on a new season, it will be totally different, but still same premise of the show, just no correlation, no storyline connection. Can you please explain the ending of The Lost Tapes? I'm so lost. Okay, so the ending, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it on Tubi. It is streaming now for free, so you can go check it out. Link is down below. So the ending, I get sucked into the TVs after rewinding back to season 1. So basically I rewound time, and then now I'm in this like limbo space. I'm like way back in the past. And then in this space, I see Pandora's box. So I open Pandora's box, and what do I find but the deed to the house from season 1. Now, with this deed, there is an envelope, and I feel like we were kind of rushed for time filming this, and so I wish there was like a clip of me like writing and signing, but we just didn't have the time to do that. So that may have made this ending make more sense, but also I kind of wanted people to like think about the ending a little bit more and not make it so on the nose. But essentially, I am the mysterious relative that gave myself technically the deed to the house in season 1, which is how this whole thing began. Was I received a mysterious letter one day and this house became mine. Well, who was that mysterious relative that I inherited this house from? it was actually me. I had gone through this whole experience just to end up back at the beginning. So this is essentially a time loop where it's just a time loop of death and destruction. Like, I'm just stuck in this cycle of killing all my friends. And it's kind of a perfect ending to wrap this up, that world is self-contained. It's just constantly cycling. It starts back at the beginning. Everybody from season 1 dies except for the survivors. And that season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5 happens, and we do it all again. So that is essentially the ending of Escape the Night Explained. When are you gonna sell more Escape the Night merch? Can you sell the tarot cards? So unfortunately, the tarot cards can't be sold just because you can't really sell the likeness of the YouTubers. So that's why tarot cards have never been like a merch item. But I do have a very exciting announcement regarding merch. So I closed down my shop, Crystal Wolf, a couple years ago, and I still have a bunch of like archived stock from there. And a lot of it was Escape the Night merch. And so I decided, you know what, let's do a cool mystery box where I just throw a bunch of random archive merch, both from Crystal Wolf and Escape the Night, into these boxes. So there is a $35 box and a $55 box. And in the silver tier box, which is $35, you will absolutely definitely get a bunch of standard items, a bunch of just like random little cute things. And then on top of that, you will get 5 other random archived items that don't include clothing. And then the gold box has all those same things, and you get 2 additional clothing items and the Escape the Night pin set. Let me actually go get those 1 second. Okay, so every gold box will receive the pin set of the keys from season 4. These are, you know, discontinued. Like, these are just now whatever's out there is out there in the world. So you'll get these. And then for both boxes, you have a chance of winning these exclusive items. So I have printed 25 of these VHS versions of Escape the Night: The Lost Tapes. They are actually working VHS tapes that have the movie and the behind the scenes on here. There's only 25 of these being printed, and they are labeled. Like, this one's 5 out of 25. So there's going to be 10 of these spread out throughout these mystery boxes. So you have a chance of getting 1 of 10 of these. In the silver and gold box, you have a chance of winning the board game, which also are done printing. So whatever's out there in the world, you can't really buy them unless it's from a reseller. You'll receive 1 of these by chance. And then in the gold box, you have a chance of winning your very own artifact from season 1. So this is pretty heavy, it's intense, it's very expensive. So you have a chance of winning these. There are only about 250 boxes that are going to be sold. So you have a 1 in 250 chance of getting this, which is pretty cool. So yeah, if you want to do it, I think it's just a pre-order right now. I still have to figure out some logistic stuff behind the scenes. So if you want to pre-order your box, link is down below. But it's honestly such a good value for what you're getting. So I highly recommend you go get it while supplies last. Okay, this is a question again about season 5. Did Nikita die or survive? I mean, if you look at the rules, if you're captured twice, you're as good as dead. She was only captured once, so I don't think she died. And Manny, I think probably didn't die either, because I think the cult leader bringing him back, the cult member was obsessed with him. And so I think that Manny is probably alive as well. So technically they could be the survivors of season 5, but they could have also died. So everyone dies in the end. It's up to interpretation, honestly. Oh, okay. So going back to Rosanna's death, okay, there was so much that just did not go right with this project. There was someone that I hired that was just a bit of a mess. And their role on this job was to handle a lot of stuff behind the scenes and get things ready for the shoot. And one of those things was the monsters and the costumes. And I was told many times that it was handled and that the monsters were gonna look like this. X, Y, and Z. And so, for one, the Minotaur in the Christmas room was not supposed to look like that. It was supposed to look way more terrifying. It was supposed to be a full costume. And literally the only thing that showed up was his mask, and that mask was not anything near what I wanted. It was not up to the standard of what I would like, but this is 2 days before we're shooting. Like, actually, I think it was 1 day before we were shooting. And then the second monster, there was supposed to be an actual alien costume that was going to be there. A day before, I'm like hounding this person, like, where is the costume? I'm busy building the sets downstairs with the crew because we literally had 1 day to build these sets. And they're like, oh, the costume's here. And I'm like so excited. I go upstairs and I'm like, okay, where is it? It's in a essentially Party City plastic bag. I pull out one of those cheap, flimsy alien masks. Like, you know, the very cheap ones. Here, I'll insert a picture. I nearly lost my mind. I was mortified. I was like, this is not what I had intended. And so Rosanna's death was going to originally be her getting captured and the alien being on top of her and have all this like alien like acid come out of the mouth and onto her face and just melt her face away. And because we didn't have, a proper alien mask, that clearly was not going to happen. So I was like, okay, I need to just be quick on my feet and just figure this out. In horror movies, it's kind of better when you don't see the monster because your imagination is much more scary than the actual monster most of the time. So I was like, we're just gonna do sound design and have this, let's make him have telekinesis powers and can pull people. And yeah, so that's what Rosanna's death ended up being. It was a very last minute planned death, unfortunately, but I still think it turned out pretty cool. And in these situations, I've learned you just have to roll with the punches and keep moving forward. A lot of the times it's not gonna turn out the way that you want it to at the beginning. And there was just so much pressure also with to live up to the fandom's expectations. And for such a small budget, it was such a hard task to make happen. But I'm super happy with what I was able to accomplish, especially because Adam, the normal director of Escape the Night, dropped out maybe 5 months before we had to film. And I was just left by myself. And I had to figure out who I could bring on, and I clearly picked the wrong people to help me with this. A lot of the people I picked were amazing. I had the same film crew, same editing team, and I found an amazing art department that absolutely killed it. And in just a day, made happen. But there was just some other people behind the scenes that truly made this experience so hellish for me to accomplish. So I'm gonna pat myself on the back for getting through, pushing forward, and still being able to make a good product at the end. So yes. How well did the show do on Tubi? Honestly, I'm not sure. They haven't given me numbers yet. They asked me if I could do another push of promo, so I highly recommend you guys go watch it on Tubi. Even if you already saw it, just put it on in the background and just have this stuff streaming nonstop so we can rack those numbers up so they offer us to do a future season. Because there's so much more I want to do, so please go support this project. Well, that is it for this Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to go get a mystery box. See what you get. Hopefully you are the winner of one of these very cool exclusive prizes. So if the odds be ever in your favor, good damn bye.